back to Good Living. Molly is with us now from Citizens Advice Bureau. It's nice to see you again, Molly. How are you?
I'm very well.
Speaking of being very well, we're going to talk about something today that a lot of us venture into with our eyes closed, myself included at times, gym contracts.
Yep.
My goodness gracious me, aren't they?
They can be scary things because a contract is a legally binding document, and one of the things I think that people often do is they often rush into it with a burst of enthusiasm around this time of year after winter, having put on a few pounds, thinking, I must deal to this and I'll just go and sign up, and not actually reading the document thoroughly, looking at things like is there a clause in it for putting the membership on hold if you injure yourself, for example? Is there a clause, you know, for women with regards to pregnancy if they want to put it on hold? What if you shift towns? Can you swap your membership over to another gym? And there's a lot of pressure placed on people, and they really need to go to that gym during the times that they're going to use it, because otherwise you can be there and it's at 5:30 and every man and his dog is there and you're like squished into this little wee locker space.
And that might not be right for you.
It might not be right for you. Do you actually feel comfortable with that? And one of the things I'd actually say to folk is to go out and try a couple of gyms, explain to the gym what you're doing, that you're actually looking at different costs, that you're looking at different kinds of exercise. Talk to them about what your goals actually are for going to the gym. Is it to tone up? Is it to lose weight? Is it for a sporting event? And see whether they can actually help you with those sorts of things. The other thing with gyms is you get a lot of what I would call added value costs as well that people need to be aware of. You know, are you going to have a personal trainer? How much are you paying? Is that person qualified? What are their years in the industry? What do they specialise in? Do they specialise in, for example, people with injuries? Do they specialise with people who work for sporting events? Look at what you're getting for your personal training money.
And the add-ons as well with because some gym classes you actually pay. So even though you've paid your subscription, you can
even though you've paid your membership, which might be weekly a certain amount, some classes are extra, like you could be paying, I don't know, $5 for a cycling class. So you've actually got to factor that into your budget as well, whether you actually can afford to do that. And then on top of that, if you're paying for a personal trainer, and thinking about what suits you as a person. For example, if you're someone who is quite happy to go off and do your own individual thing, or whether you're someone who likes doing group classes and finds that you work harder. But also the other important thing is to remember that not all exercise actually takes place in a gym.
So you can get out and about on the street and get some fresh air. Speaking of gym contracts, Molly, just quickly, can we get out of them? How does that process work?
Well, from what I've seen and observed, they're so tightly written that it's extremely difficult. You're better, if you're wanting to get out of it, you're better off going and seeing one of the lawyers at one of our free legal advice clinics, because normally they're so tightly written, they're so locked in. The other thing which I do need to mention is you may have it for perhaps a 12-month period, but some of them have a rollover contract and where you have to write an advice that you wish to finish after that 12-month period.
Otherwise it just rolls on and then you're set into that contract again.
Oh, well, it just continues to be deducted from your bank balance.
Okay,
so
good to know.
Be careful, make an astute decision and go and try it out. Don't be peer pressured.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Some really good advice there, Molly. And of course, do give them a call if you want to know anything about the legalities of what we've talked about. So Citizens Advice Bureau, 3 locations there, City, Bishopdale and Hornby. And the 0800 number, great number, remember it, 0800 367 222.